You're welcome at PNP, Ruby. To start with, how about let's go to page two. Can you
Page.
go to page two, please?
Yes.
Okay. So in the first part of our demo class is about self-introduction. So we have guidelines here of how you can introduce yourself. So you can I already because I already know your name. So you can we can skip this one. So just tell me about your job and then hobbies and then about life. So things about life could include how old are you or if you're married or single.
Mm-hmm.
Then also tell me about special experiences that you have uh like recently.
Recently, okay?
Yes, also, and then tell me your purpose of learning English. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, so you may start now. And then, by the way, afterwards, I will also do mine. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Uh, my name is Rui. Hello. Now I'm employed now for I'm unemployed for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm uh, I'm a mom. I have two kids.
Mm-hmm.
My hobby is I
Oh,
think
by the way, hold on a second. Sorry. So you said that you are an employee, right?
unemployed. You
Oh, unemployed. Sorry.
for
I
over
misheard you.
okay, sorry.
Unemployed. So, because I was about to ask, like, where are you working at? Oh,
Oh, I'm working where I'm working at.
I don't know. What
Okay.
I mean is, like, because I thought you said you are employed.
Yes.
So I
Oh,
thought you have a job right now. So I was about to ask you, like,
oh,
where are you working? Yeah,
I
but
can
don't
tell
worry. Mm-hmm.
I can tell you. I was working in a hospital. I'm a nutritionist.
Ooh, that's it. That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But now the kids is a uh we find a babysitter or like after they no they after school they go to like daycare,
Mm-hmm.
but now they don't like the environment in the daycares.
I see.
So I have to quit my job to take care of them.
Yeah, because there are a lot of strangers in a daycare, and I think it's easy to get sick for children who stay at daycares for a long time. Mm-hmm. Hello? Yeah, I thought I
Exactly.
lost you. That is cool. So how old are your children? Mm-hmm.
One is 8 years old and another is 6 years old.
Oh, okay, cool. Boys and girls? I mean, boy and girl?
Yes, both. The
Oh.
elder is a boy. The
Mm-hmm.
little one is a girl.
Oh, that's cute. I've always wanted to have a an older brother.
Yes, I wish I have a older brother.
Yes, I think that's cool. Okay, and then you may continue.
Okay. My hobby. Uh, for 2 years, I fall in love with climbing, sports climbing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to bouldering gym or climbing gym
Mm-hmm.
for 2 or 3 times a week with my kids.
Wow, that is so cool. Your kids could do it already?
Yes, they're better than me now.
That is really cool. I remember I would also go on hikes and there were like younger kids ages 5 to 10 years old that would hike really, really fast and they're faster than adults.
Yes,
That is cool.
they will grow up and we are getting old.
Not true. That is indeed true. Yeah. So, by the way, is it okay for me to ask how old are you? Just for some information here below.
Okay, I'm 40. I'm 40 years
40
old.
years old, I see. Okay. So there you go. So that is awesome. So aside from climbing, what else do you do for your hobbies?
Another hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
I think nothing special. When I have free time, I will relaxing at home, have a cup of coffee, and watch Netflix.
Uh-huh. What do you watch at Netflix? What do you watch at Netflix?
What did I watch?
Mm-hmm.
I forget.
So do you watch series? Because there's a lot of incredible
Oh, I
mov
forgot the name. I forgot.
okay. So yeah, incredible movies and series in Netflix, right?
Yes.
I just don't have it. And I feel like if I have one, I'm sure that I will just be watching Netflix for the whole day. That is so cool. Okay, so last question, or I think second to the last question. What is your purpose of learning English?
Sometimes when I talk to people, I can't really understand what they are talking about. I always guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I guess their question, then I answer. Sometimes I answer the wrong. I answer the wrong answer. I
Mm-hmm.
give the wrong answer. Maybe like ask me which building they are lost, but if I can't understand what is their question, I will give them wrong information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I wish I could understand what other people talked about, and I can speak English like native speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I think English like native speaker and speak English fluently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
I think that's a really good motivation, and that's a really good purpose for learning English. Because learning English is not just for, excuse me, it's not just for the people who work, right? But it's also for, excuse me, it is a necessary skill for everybody.
yes, because children
Mm,
they learn English from school, so I wish I could practice for what?
pronunciation,
Yes, I can practice to progress.
progress.
That's right.
Yes, I think that's good. Yeah, and I think as a mom, especially like you already know the struggle of not being able to speak fluently, right? And so I think every parents who knows this, they wish that their children would become better in speaking this language because it opens doors of opportunities. Yeah, who knows if what will become of your children in the future, right?
Yes.
So that is really good. So yeah. So I remember starting when I was in kindergarten, my mom would read me English stories.
Oh,
And
cool.
I feel like even though I did not really understand like every words on those stories, but I just know that I it's just like for kids, even though they do not really understand the words that you're saying, they would know what it means, right?
Mm.
Even literally they don't know those words, they would know like, oh, the princess is happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the egg is jumping.
I think I should do that for my kids right now.
It's a really good idea, and you could start with picture books while telling them stories in English, so they'll have an idea what you're saying. Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Ruby. So, my last question is, why did you choose Ruby as for your English name? I just like
Maybe
asking this question.
because my Chinese name, my last name,
Mm-hmm.
first name or last name. First name.
First name, Ruru.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, actually, that makes sense. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a pretty name as well.
Thank you.
Mm.
Maybe I should change name. You told me a lot of people in PMP.
Ah, no, 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 no.
Like,
What I said earlier is that not a lot of people.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's fine.
like, true. Like I think I've had two students whose names are Michelle, and then there's
Michelle.
also I think I've had students whose names are Alice.
Oh,
Yeah, and then what else? I think I think that's it. And I've had students whose names are Jason. I had a month that I had five students in a I had five students whose names are Jason. Yeah, and then yeah, those were really cool though. I think those names are just pretty particular for in Taiwan. Yeah, okay. So, Ruby, thank you so much for things that you shared with me.
thank you.
So as for our self-introduction, so as you can see in this module, we have a what do you call this? We have student answer and better say. So we help students here at PNP know and correct their sentences by writing down here at better say. And we also use, if you could go to page 1 to the very first page, you'll be able to see that we also use colors in highlighting.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so these are some of the or most of the colors that we use.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also speaking and reading. So actually not every material here in PNP is what I call this is or does have articles to read. But these articles, for me as a teacher, I think this is really good to have articles and materials because it makes students not only learn English or improve their English skills, speaking skills, but also helps them to learn issues around the world.
Issues.
Yes, like certain topics that would give them knowledge. Yeah. And then there's also questions for your comprehension, which are used to help you better understand the article or the stories. Yeah. Also, there's pronunciation test. And then, of course, I think, pronunciation, not really test, but pronunciation skill is being developed as you go on the module or in the module. And also there is the grammar test and writing, academic writing. Oh, thank you so much for writing down your answer. So yeah, so but I feel like because you as a student, um you just want to develop being able to be fluent with conversation, right?
Right?
Yeah, so I could recommend to you, and I think the PNP would also help you choose one, but I also recommend to you to have oral topic discussion. So these ones have certain, like topics around the world, like for example, global warming, and
Mm-hmm.
then nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, excuse me. And then what else? There's also there is also daily conversation. I think this would also be very good.
Yes, that's what I need.
Yeah, so what do you call this? This one module is also really good for you. What else? Actually, there's a lot. But these two are my most recommended modules or materials for you.
Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, so now how about we go check some of the things that I've written down below. or sorry, not below, but on while you were speaking earlier. Actually, this is
Mm-hmm.
right. So I will just remove this. So I just recorded two. So the first one is you said that you fall in love with climbing. So even though like presently you are still in love with climbing. So even though presently you feel that way, but it would be better to say I fell in love with hiking.
Wow, I
Yes.
fell in love with
So
hiking.
why do we use past tense or past verb or past action? It's because you are already in love, right?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
in this state of being in love. So that means that being in love meaning like you've already fall or you've already
Mm,
fell into that state. So that's why we use fell instead of a fall. Okay?
okay.
Or well, you can also say I am falling in love.
I'm
I
falling.
hope your husband is not jealous. Like,
Oh,
I hope he doesn't think like, oh, she loves hiking more than she does for me. Okay.
you can go hiking with me.
He does?
Mm-hmm.
That is super cool. And I bet it's really nice to go on hiking there in Taiwan because there's a lot of great mountains to hike, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's nice. Next, um, when I have a free time,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I would watch because it's when, meaning conditional, right?
Yes.
Sorry. So meaning it is conditional. So that's why because you don't always have free time, right? So that's
Right.
why
Right.
we would say I would watch movie and then so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Okay.
you have any question with this corrected sentences?
No.
Okay, good. Okay then, so how about we go first with your writing? How about we check that first and then when we have free time, let's do the reading part, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So is it okay if you read first your answer on the writing part?
You mean you want to read the relationship building the article?
No, 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 not yet. So let's go first to the fourth one, the writing one.
Writing one. Okay.
So can you please read your answer with the question, what is your purpose of learning English?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just
I
want
really
to,
don't
because I just want to hear you read. I just want to hear you pronounce these words.
know. Okay, okay. I'm a little nervous. People learn English for different purpose from me. I wish I could speak English fluency with friends, think like a native speaker, and understand the content of original children's book, then read it for my kids. I think good English ability plays an important role of achieving my objectives, so I would try to do my best.
Mhm. Okay, so let's see. People learn English for, okay, so this should be capital. People learn English, okay, so no, oh wait, actually with us. Okay, people learn English for different purposes. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just add that here.
Mhm.
So for different purposes. And then it would be period and then capital letter for here for me. I wish I could speak English fluently.
Fluency.
Yes. Fluently. I wish I could speak English Fluently with friends. I think with friends. Oh, like you want to speak fluently with native speakers, right? Okay,
Yeah.
how about we instead say, I wish I could speak fluently with native speakers.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, it's a really good practice to be able to speak fluently to native speakers. Because, actually, I live in America for almost 2 years. And so, before that, I was also teaching, before going to America, I was also teaching in a Korean academy. So I was also teaching English online. And then, so I thought that I was really good at English already. Yeah, I thought like, oh, I think I did
Super.
good. And then when I went there, I I blew my mind that oh, I was not that good. Yeah. And so I think being with them every day makes me or made me develop this kind of accent and also help and I also developed proper pronunciation and then proper grammar, and those are just through listening and having and like putting myself into conversation. I
Yeah.
mean, there were some awkward times that like I do not really know how to explain myself. Yeah, but I learned so much. Yeah, thankfully, thanks to those people who helped me. Okay. So, I wish I could speak English fluently with native speakers under the content and understand the content of a regional children's book. Okay, how about we say okay. Okay, I'll just make this I'll just rephrase this one. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. So how about we say and be able to read original children's stories. How about that? Stories,
Okay.
original English stories in English with my kids.
That's better.
Okay. I bet that they would love that. Yeah. I think good English ability. So it's more on not the ability but skill.
Skill.
Yes.
Okay.
So the difference between ability and skill is that ability is more like walking, like you are able to work to do physically, like
Oh,
walking,
physical.
eating, breathing.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then
Talking, listen.
mm-hmm. So those are the difference between abilities and skills. Okay, when we say skills, that is dancing, like
Oh.
special things that you can do,
Mm.
painting,
Think painting.
yeah, more of like probably could be talents, or
Mm.
carpentry, driving. Okay, so those are
Okay.
skills. Ability is more like you're able to do. Again, so I'll just type
Mm.
it again. So breathing,
Uh-huh.
eating, bathing, and etc.
Okay.
Okay. So I think good English skills play. So why do we use skills instead of skill? The reason is that when we use skills is because when you were learning English, it's not just about conversation, but it's also about
Mm-hmm.
pronunciation, about grammar, right? About your
Mm-hmm.
diction. So those are skills. Okay, so I think good English skills play important role. Okay, let's just remove them. Play important role in achieving.
Play important role. Oh, two to achieving.
What could you, it could be actually in and to. You could use both
Oh. Mm-hmm.
or to. Okay,
Mm.
in achieving or to achieving my objectives. So I will do my best. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then. So this is our corrected sentence. So is it okay if you read it through, including the corrections, please?
Uh, people learn English for sorry. People learn English for different
Mhm.
purposes. For me, I would like to speak English with native speaker and be able to read original children's stories in English with kids.
Oh, sorry. I should say with
I,
my kids. Sorry, I forgot that one. Continue.
I think good English skills play important role to achieving my objectives. So I'll try to do my best.
Mhm. Okay. So do you have any questions?
Yeah, I think
Okay then. So if you don't have any more questions, because it's also already time. So yeah, I wish I could we could continue. And if you want to continue with PNP classes, please just contact the PNP managers. Okay? Yes.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much and very nice to meet you, Ruby.
Oh, me
Yes.
too. Nice to meet
So you have a good day.
you. You too.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.